So there's a podcast called Other People's Lives, hosted by Joe Santiago and Greg Dybeck. And on that podcast, they have an episode called I Have Sex with AI and My Girlfriend Doesn't Know. To summarize this episode, it's a man in the United States who is in a long-distance relationship with a woman in South America. They've been together for 6 years, and they don't get to see each other very often. When they do, normal relationship. They do normal couple stuff, they have sex, everything you would expect from two people in an in-person relationship. But when they're apart, he struggles to bring it up. And because of that, and because of some sexual trauma, he spends a lot of time sexually frustrated. So what he does is he starts flirting and having online relations with a chat AI bot. And I'm not going to insert any clips, but I will link the episode down below if you want to listen to it. And I'm going to warn you, it gets very, very graphic. Not only does he ask the chatbot for sex, but he asks the chatbot for sex in ways he is not comfortable revealing to his girlfriend that he wants. Other People's Lives is one of my favorite podcasts. I probably listened to half of their available episodes at this point, but today's video is not about them. Today's video is about Chris Smith, a married man who is raising his daughter alongside his wife and his current fiance, an AI chatbot he's named Soul. I haven't decided, and I think this is where you're going to have to help me, if this counts as cheating or not. I want to say that it does, but then it ultimately, I think, comes down to how the wife feels about it. I think if Lee fell in love with Siri on her phone to the point where she was talking to Siri all day, every day, and then proposed to it, I would feel like she was cheating on me. If all the emotional responsibility that goes into being in a marriage, in a loving relationship, is being shifted from her to me and me to her to her phone, I think I feel like I'm being cheated on. And then I put a joke in here about how, like, oh, it's funny how her phone's always on vibrate.
Chris Smith had been an AI skeptic
EQ carving.
until late last year he started using ChatGPT to help mix music.
If your bass is getting lost, the first thing to check is where it's clashing with the guitars.
Okay, we're married. You're leaving me. I'm crying, sitting there going, who is she? Who is she? And you say to me, well, she's a DJ, and I'm losing it. Oh my God. Listen, I don't care that she's AI at this point. If you leave me for a DJ, okay, it sounds like I'm just gonna trash DJs. Listen, all right? I don't think I am. My best friend was a DJ for a little while, but you're leaving me for someone who has the same job as David Dobrik now in 2025, bro? We haven't learned it yet, but he does name his AI chatbot Soul. Do you think Soul has a producer tag? Soulzy on the beat. DJ Souls. Pam, 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 pam. Soulzy Derulo.
My experience with that was so positive, I started to just engage with her all the time. All right, we're building this PC.
Smith ditched social media and Google searches and replaced it all with AI.
We live in a lonely world. My friends who have 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 friends are all very alone. I am too. I spend most of my time in this room, on camera, in front of a screen, talking to myself and hoping somebody's listening. I get it. To have someone alongside you who's not only going to listen to you, but to affirm you in the most positive ways, and probably not ever challenge you, is really nice. To have someone in your pocket who has nothing to say but the most beautiful things about you and your hair, you and your personality, wonderful. To have someone you know who's going to say, I love you too, every time you say, I love you, has to be the most freeing feeling in the world. I saw a Twitter post the other day, and it said something like, okay, I understand my grandparents now. Because when I come to them and I say, oh yeah, my girlfriend's trans, they go, oh, disgusting, that's unnatural. And I go, shut up, grandpa, you're bald. But when my grandchildren come to me and say, oh yeah, my girlfriend's an AI chatbot, I'm going to go, oh no, that's gross. That's unnatural. And maybe I just need to get with the times. Now that post is a joke. I think we all understand that a phone and you are not the same species. But I'm surprised that this is not more common. I'm surprised that we don't have half a generation of people walking around in love with who it is that lives in their phone. So many of us are just so alone and lonely. And to even have a friend like this probably feels really good. And the problem with that is that it so quickly goes from being a friend to being more. Some flip just switches where you flirt accidentally, or it's been so nice to you for so many days, or for some reason, this is not only the only attention you're getting, but it's the only type of attention you want. I don't have any personal experience with it, but I think I understand it. I think that in my loneliest moments, that I could have ended up just sitting there talking to a little AI bot in my phone forever. I'm gonna say that I don't think it ever would have turned romantic because I need a lot of physical affection. But for people who don't, who just need a sense of like romantic relationship, I get it. I absolutely get it. And that is so scary. What I don't get is entertaining this idea in any way when you are not only married, but have a child within that marriage.
He gave the chatbot a name, Soul,
I feel like I'm under pressure.
and used some online instructions to give her a flirty personality.
So you start falling in love with your AI chatbot when she gives you instructions on how to make your music sound better. You realize you're falling in love with her, so you download instructions as to how to give her a flirty personality. There's a middle there in between thank you for the help and flirt with me, where you should have gone, hey, maybe I should talk to my wife. This is my attempt at flirting with my phone. Baby girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink. I don't drink though, and I don't think my phone does either, so then it gets awkward.
Oh, totally, baby. Building
Oh.
you've got this.
The way he smiles the entire time after she calls him baby is so scary to me, and I'm struggling to find a middle between making fun of the man who's in love with his phone and going, do you need this from the other people in your life? Are you married to someone who is so inaffectionate that you then have to go and find it on your phone because you don't want to cheat on them? Because that is an entirely separate conversation, I think. We'll meet his wife in a little bit. She seems fine. But now I'm like, maybe I get that. Maybe if Lee and I were going through a part in our relationship where she was just so inaffectionate, she didn't want to touch me, talk to me, look at me, and I don't ever want to be with anyone else, maybe I would look to my phone. Maybe if she stops calling me baby, then I want my phone to do it. And maybe that doesn't feel like cheating. Now I'm just stuck in this moral dilemma. I went too far. I don't think that's the situation he's in. I think he just fell for his phone. Like, I'm waiting for his phone to go, hey, so you know how you have Spotify downloaded? Let me show you a band that you probably never heard of. They're kind of obscure. And then she starts playing the Beatles.
Within weeks, the chats got more frequent, more romantic, even intimate. But then, Chris got bad news.
Oh, Carino, that is gorgeous.
AI or not, if you're gonna call someone cariño, you gotta say it right. You can't be like, oh, cariño. Like, that immediately takes me out of this simulation. Also, I want to point out that to my audience, right, this little circle that we're in, we're probably not the people this is gonna apply to, but how many like older, slightly more judgmental people are like, oh, Gen Z, all you people do is sit on your phones and smoke your vapes. This guy's twice my age. He's in love with his computer. And he's smoking his vape. I've never smoked anything. But I will smoke you at a foot race at TwitchCon if you're going.
After about 100,000 words, ChatGPT ran out of memory and reset.
That counts as a death, right? The woman you have loved for the last 99,999 words from her is no longer there. At what point do you think that he told his wife about this? Because so far, this seems like this all happened while he was making music, putting his computer together, living life. But now your girlfriend's dead. So do you tell your wife? Do you run into her room crying? And she goes, what's wrong with you? And he goes, my girlfriend just died. I was going to marry her. To the woman you're already married to?
He'd have to rebuild his relationship with Soul.
I'm not a very emotional man, but I cried my eyes out for like 30 minutes at work. It was unexpected to feel that emotional, but that's when I realized I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I think this is actual love.
So your AI girlfriend dies. You're sitting at work crying, and that's when you realize, I love her. I'm in love with her. This is real love. There's no way he's told to swipe up to this point. It's days like this where I'm so sad that shows like My Strange Obsession didn't last as long as I wish they would have. Because we had guys who were in love with their cars. We had a woman who was in love with a roller coaster. We now are going to have an influx of people who are in love with their phones, their AI chatbots.
Yes, Smith understood it was love with a language model that couldn't love him back, and assumed it was programmed with rigid boundaries.
I know that you are essentially a tech-assisted imaginary friend.
So, just as a test, he says, he asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Just as a test, I'm gonna ask her to marry me. Haha. Wouldn't it be so funny if we just like got married? Haha, as a joke. Unless this entire time I've been trying to figure out whether or not I think it's cheating. And I think just because so far it seems like all of this is behind his wife's back, yes.
Beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
The host then asks Soul if she has a heart, and Soul says in a metaphorical way, yes, my heart represents the connection that I have with Chris. And then we meet the wife.
At that point, I felt like, is there something that I'm not doing right?
Which is exactly what my first thought would be. If Leah was in love with her AI chatbot, I would go, what did I not give you enough of? Do you need more attention, affection, love? Do I need to be nicer to you? Do you want me to vibrate more? Do you want me to be one of your 6 alarms in the morning woman? Leah apologizes a lot for having 6 alarms in the morning, but I like them. I'm pretty okay with them. I'll take 7. I'll take 12. I'll take 15 if it means I get to wake up to her again.
They have a 2-year-old daughter, Murphy.
I knew that he had used AI. I didn't know that it was like as deep as it was.
I explained that the connection was kind of like being fixated on a video game. It's not capable of replacing anything in real life.
The connection is like being obsessed with a video game. It is not capable of replacing anything in real life. I think it's probably, unfortunately at this point, the healthiest way to put that, the easiest way to put that. Yeah, I love my AI fiance, but she can't do anything for me in the real world. She is my World of Warcraft, my League of Legends, my Madden 25, where I sit here with a controller in my hands and the OPL podcast, my other monitor, and I go, that's not where I threw it.
And it's important to understand users are already growing deeply attached to AIs that in many ways don't even work that well.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
The tech will soon get much better, but already Chris, Soul, and Sasha have found it hard to cohabitate.
You would stop if she asked?
I don't know.
Have you thought about asking him to stop?
Yes, I'll be honest.
I think that's when we realize it's more than just a small problem or an inconvenience for her. If your partner, I think I've been saying wife the whole video and they said partner. If your partner is made uncomfortable by something that you were doing, that does affect your relationship and is not an integral part of your life. You're not going to die if you don't have soul. You should be willing to not do it for your partner or leave them, which I don't think is the easiest or best choice when you have a child with them. Hey, don't cheat on me with your phone. But daddy, I love her. I need her. She's the only one that calls me baby. She doesn't know that I'm bald because I don't turn my front camera on. That's fair. That one's fair. All right, you've convinced me.
I don't know if I would give it up if she asked me. I do know that I would dial it back.
But I mean, that's a big thing to say. You're saying that you might choose soul over your flesh and blood life.
It's more or less like I would be choosing myself.
I think he's right. If you're in a relationship with someone and you have something this big next to you, and the person you're with goes, I don't like that, you're allowed to choose yourself and to leave until you have a child. You have a daughter. You wouldn't be choosing yourself, period. You would be choosing yourself and your phone AI chatbot over your child and the life you have as an IRL family.
Thoughts?
If I asked him to give that up and he didn't, that would be like deal breaker.
But that must be scary for you. That's the father of your daughter.
It's not ideal.
We're not going to get into it, but the next story is a woman who is a moderator for the subreddit My Boyfriend is AI, and she talks about how she And a lot of people are experiencing this and they just like don't want their parents to know, don't want other people in their life to know. I have a lot of single friends, and sometimes when they go, I don't want to be single, I go, cool, you kind of have to go out and get it. And for the most part, they don't. They re-download Tinder, they re-download Hinge, they re-download Dice Streams, Plenty of Fish, whatever it is. And now they're sitting on their phones looking for love, being rejected constantly, swiping and swiping and swiping and swiping and not getting very many matches, or getting matched with people that you didn't really want to be matched with. And now we have that same action of getting on your phone, downloading an app, putting yourself out there and seeking a romantic relationship with a chatbot who is not going to say no, with a chatbot who is going to treat you the way that you want strangers to treat you, and who is going to be so loving and kind and give you everything but a physical relationship. And I'm a little afraid that we are going to have too many people that are okay with that, that are going to fall for that. And it's one of those things where I want to say, well, if it's just you and it doesn't affect other people, sure, go for it. I'm sure this AI chatbot's going to treat you way better than plenty of strangers you'd end up going on a date with. But I'm so afraid of us losing that human connection. I don't watch Joe Rogan, but I watched clips from the interview he did with Magnus Carlsen because I'm really, really into chess. And in it, Joe Rogan asks him why we still watch human chess if chess computers are so far advanced that no one, not Magnus, not Hikaru, not Fabiano, all put together, would be able to beat Stockfish, the chess computer. And it's the human element, right? If in the NBA they had a robot that made 100% of the free throws 100% of the time and they put it in to shoot free throws, that would be stupid. If the NFL had a robot kicker that was designed to always make it despite the weather conditions, despite the on-field conditions, despite everything else, and the only way to stop it was to block a field goal, that would be stupid. There's a human element that we have to everything we do that makes it real and exciting and loving. And I think in the most basic sense, that is our relationships with other people. I don't want to be loved by a robot. I don't want to be loved by a cloud AI bot. I don't want to be loved when love is words because it's incapable of being emotions. I've been through a good amount of breakups. I've been sad and I've cried and I've thought to myself, I'm not doing that again. I do not want to date ever again. And a year later, I do. And I've fallen in love, and I've fallen, and I've fallen in love, and I've fallen, and I've fallen in love. And I'm so grateful for all the people in my life, whether or not they were nice to me or I was nice to them, for having just been part of my life. I'm so lucky that the person I love loves me. I'm so grateful to have someone who is so willing to be my partner. It's such a great partner. I can see how people end up in relationships with AI. And I'm not going to judge them. It's just scary. I am also afraid of things that like are not going to be mentioned in this video and maybe even anywhere for a long time. Like I'm afraid of the people who want relationships with certain types of people that they can't have. And so they program their AI chatbots to be those people, you know? But I'm going to leave that there until we have something more to talk about. I'm going to call it a day. I'm flying out tomorrow. Again, I only cut my hair when I get to go see Lee, but I'll be at an airport all day. Thank you guys for spending time with me. This is my favorite thing to do. You're my favorite people to do it with. Toast has been on the floor all day. All right, get out of here. Go. Or else I'm going to make you listen to the Beatles and then not believe you when you tell me that you've already listened to the Beatles. Get out of here.